アメリカ人が見ててもはってなってる。
That is not true.
No. No, 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 no. Everybody's so old. All the students are like 30. And my mom is like,
他、いくくんの動画で紹介してくれてた他にもなんか、これはちょっと誇張してるだろうみたいな。
すいません、ちょっとリストアップしてまいりました。
はい。
リストアップしてまいりました。
披露していただければ。
ちょっとね、これは、まあ僕がちょっと皆さんにお伝えしたい、アメリカ人が見てても、はってなってるドラマの、まあいろんな、まあこれは、陽子さんが紹介したような、なんか場面とかシチュエーションっていうよりも、どちらかというともう一つのものだったりします。一つ目は、
いい子。最近さ、こう、道元さんとかもね、
はい、
お前ネイティブとコラボしてんのにずっと日本語で喋ってんじゃねえよみたいなコメント
英語にします？
英語でお願いします。
僕も久しぶりに英語喋るんで。But I listed everything up in Japanese, so now my brain is gonna... But the first one, that even American people, when like watching TV shows from America, are all like, no, there's just no way. The first one is everybody's house is giant.
Yeah, that is not true.
No. No. Especially not like living in New York, and I just graduated high school.
Oh yeah.
And living in New York, it's like $3,000 a month to live in an apartment in New York. So that one, the one that made me think of that was Glee, because they like graduate high school and then they all move to New York and just live in a giant house or an apartment, I guess. And that was, there's just no. And then also Glee, the second one that I wanted to say was everybody's so old. All the students are like 30. So Japanese people always talk to me and say, why, like, American high school students look so grown up? And I'm like, because they're 30. But when American people who are actually 14, 15, 16, they look like kids. They don't have like big boobs and like giant muscles.
I kind of disagree with that because,
really?
You know, compared to real, 14, 16-year-old Japanese people, they look like, 10-year-old sometimes.
Yeah.
12 or 13.
Well, I think that also has to do with because in America there's no rules on your clothes or your makeup.
Oh, yeah.
So girls definitely look a lot older because they have makeup on. And then boys probably look older just because they have beards, like full beards at like 15.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, as far as like when you see them right in front of you, I'm like, that's a child. Like they're like with all the pimples and they do look older than Japanese kids. I think because Japanese kids usually don't have makeup on and they're all in the same clothes. But I mean, Japanese, school uniforms and then American girls with like everything out and American boys with like those tank tops that go all the way down to here. They're like half naked at school all day. So I mean that they look older just because of like the styling, but they still look like kids. They don't look as old as like people on TV.
でもね、なんかうちもフランスに行った時に発育いいなと思ったのよ。16歳7歳ぐらいの子が、そらこの子たち日本で27っつってもわかんないなって。
まああとやっぱりその日本だとやっぱりその学生ってすごい分かりやすくその制服だったりとか持ち物とか靴とか私服の感じでもうなんか私服これしか持ってないんだろうなみたいな雰囲気が出てきたりはするんですけど、アメリカ人がもう小学校の時から自分個人のスタイルをもう極めてきてるんで、そのもう年数が違うんですよ、その自己表現してる年数が。だからそういう意味ではもうなんか自分の個性が早くして出来上がってってるっていう意味では大人っぽくは見えるとは思います。でももうなんかスタイリング全部なしにしたらでイギリスの学生の方が若く見えるんですよ。みんな制服だから。でもさすがにね、ほぼ30代が演じてるんでグリーとかさすがにそこまで大人ではないかなっていう。The third one that every time I would watch like a TV series with my mom, she'd always comment on this, but American TV shows, they always have people wake up in the morning and then they go down to the kitchen. Mom made like a giant breakfast with like pancakes and eggs and bacon and it's just like so much food. And then the kid takes like one piece of bread and leaves. And my mom is like, I would burn them alive. because they just left like all the food.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're like leftovers. She's like slaving away, sweating in the kitchen, like making scrambled eggs. And so those ones, that is like crazy to me that they leave so much food.
Yeah. I was curious about it too. Like, you know, what are you gonna do with the food? Like, this whole dinner.
It's like a week worth of food.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could like pack it up and make leftovers, but it's like every time that they eat, there's just all their food is left, like burgers, one bite of a burger, and they leave. So doesn't actually happen in America. Those are pretty much only on TV. And then the last one, well, actually there's two more, I guess, but the one that surprises me the most is people always hang up the phone without saying goodbye on TV. So it's like hello, or maybe they don't even say hello. They're like, what do you want? And then they talk for a minute, and then they're like, whatever you need to say for the story is finished, and then they're just like, with no hello, no goodbye, which would never happen with American people because they love saying hello and goodbye. So I mean, and it takes like a minute, like, all right, well then I'll talk to you later. Okay, love you. All right, bye. And then finally you can do the, like, I can't speak English, cut the phone, I want to say, end the phone call. But that one would never fly in America. People, he hung up on me. We just think that he stopped talking. And then the actual last one is one that's just a situational thing that never actually happens, which is, it's always in TV shows, they take their boyfriend or girlfriend to a restaurant to break up with them.
Yeah.
Like in Legally Blonde, where there's like, the guy like says, let's hang out, let's have dinner together, and they go to the restaurant, and he's like, I think we should break up, as they're like eating dinner. And they just started eating dinner, and she's like screaming, of course, because she's like heartbroken. But no American person would invite you to dinner to break up with you.
So how do you break up then? Just on the phone?
Well, I mean, these days maybe by text, I don't know. But like at home, probably. Or like somewhere neutral that's not like we have to be quiet and polite. Because obviously if you just tell someone you're gonna break up with them, and it's like not a choice for both of you, then there's gonna be like some fighting. So that situation is always, I'm like, there's no way that anybody would invite their boyfriend or girlfriend to dinner and then dump them in the middle of dinner. So those ones are all things that would never happen in real life. They only happen on TV. I mean, there's a lot, like we talked about earlier, putting your shoes on the bed. That would never happen in real life. And if I saw somebody doing that, I would be shocked. But, you know, TV, it's supposed to be like edgy and cool. So things are a little bit different, but definitely none of those happen in real life.
Okay, so when you break up with someone, you know, a character would say, we need to talk. Or stuff like that. Is that the word?
That is a real thing. That is real.
Okay.
We need to talk. Well, I mean, maybe not anymore, because I think that a lot of people break up over text or like these days. So if you're gonna say I need to talk, then you could just write everything instead of saying we need to talk.
True.
But sometimes we need to talk is a good thing, but every American person knows that if you say we need to talk, it's usually bad. So most people, if they're gonna break up with you, they wouldn't say it like that, because then they're gonna know that you're gonna get dumped. So like, we need to talk basically equals we're gonna break up, or I'm gonna dump you. So I think people would be careful not to say that, just because.
Okay. So what if, like, you know, what if it's a good news? Like, you know, I got pregnant.
I have something to tell you.
Oh, I have something to tell you. And that's it, right?
And that would be like, like we're having a baby, or unless you don't want a baby, then we need to talk. But usually if it's good news, like I have something to tell you, or I have exciting news, or I have good news, you usually say that it's a good thing. And the only time you wouldn't say it is if it's a bad thing, because you're not gonna be like, I have bad news.
そっか、メッセージで別れる時代だよ。なんかうちすげえ年寄りなんで、なんか昔そのマジで高校時代にやっとみんな携帯も、パカパカ携帯持ち始めたぐらい。告白メールでするなんてみたいな、電話でするなんてみたいな。
いや、まだ僕も絶対そんな時代でしたね。
もう今
テキストみたいな SNS とか、LINE とかみたいなのでも、振ったりはちょっとありえなかったですね。最近そうでもないみたいですけど。
最近そうなのかな。でも you can ghost them.
Well, I mean, that's true. You don't break up with anybody because you don't date anybody. It's just ghosting people over and over again. That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you were breaking up with somebody who like you were like actually dating, like boyfriend, girlfriend, then probably not text and probably not phone call either. Probably meet in person, but not at a restaurant.
Not at a restaurant.
Not at a restaurant. Definitely at home or like maybe I don't know where else that would be like outdoors or something, like on a bench.
でも確かにどうやってやるんだろう。なんかそうやってこうちゃんとお付き合いしてたからなんか別れもちゃんとした場で伝えたくってやるのかなと思ってた。だから、なんかそれがマナーなのかなとは思ってたけど違うんだ。
失礼極まりないでしょ。そのなんか振られてるのに嫌がれない環境に連れて行かれるっていう、騒げないまあでもみんな騒いじゃいますけど、ね、だからもうそれ多分そういうなんかとんでもないシーンを作るためにやるんですけど、そのあえてその設定をレストランにしたりしますけど、でも現実世界ではもう絶対ないですね。
なるほどね。じゃあ皆さんぜひどう振られるのがいい？コメントもすげえ
理想の振られ方なるべく振られたくない
ないけど、まあ、せめて振られるならこういうシチュエーションであってほしいみたいな。これだったらなんかちょっとリスペクトフルなっていうかのがあったらちょっと教えてほしい。うちも別れのセッティングってなんだろうね。
いや家に来てもらうか、まあいやでも僕が行った時だったら振るなって思いますね。移動めんどくさいんでだったらもうちょっと伺い立てていただいて
そんな感じでね、まあ、アメリカ人は想像以上にさっぱりしてるっていうことだから
まあなんかやっぱりこうネチネチしてる人ももちろん中にはいますけど、その全体的な、まあ、日本 vs アメリカみたいな感じだったらアメリカ人のが、まあ、ちょっとあっさりめな人は多いかもしれないです。
まあ、今回でもかなりいろんなことに答えてもらったんだけれども、他にももっとね詳しく聞きたい、まあ、恋愛のことだったりとかその人との接し方のことで詳しく聞きたいことがあったらぜひねコメントで書いていただければと思います。Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out Nick's channel and subscribe to my channel as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Thank you everyone.